Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be detailing how to do your solo GR20 as Barbarian in Season 15 so that you can get that 6-piece set. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first I'm going to go ahead and go over the build. Then I will kind of show you the gear and stats to strive for. And then towards the end, I will actually show you me doing a GR20 with this setup so that you know that you can get it done if you follow this. So starting off with the build, what we've got here. Now, Barbarian was kind of a difficult one for me to get rolling. I had to kind of theory craft a few different things. So Barbarian could be one that I see casual players kind of struggling to figure out how to do that GR20 at the start of a season. But that's why I'm here for you. As the primary, I decided to go with Cleave, Reaping, Swing, because the main problem I was having was Fury. So this is the best primary I found as far as getting Fury, because you're going to generate one additional Fury for every enemy you hit. So it's important to do that Cleave, hit as many enemies as you can, and gather up that Fury. Right here on my right click, I went with Ground Stomp, Foot of the Mountain, again because it's going to generate Fury, and the rune just kind of stuns everything that's close to me. Warcry, I went with Impunity, just to give me some survivability basically, and this also you can hit in a time of need for Fury. It does generate 20 Fury for you. Battle Rage, Marauder's Rage, this was a slot I didn't really know what to put, and a 15% damage buff plus 3% crit chance permanently seemed pretty good. You just got to remember to cast it every 2 minutes and you'll get those pretty nice damage buffs. Rend, Mutilate, I guess, I should go over the 4-piece set. If you're using the starter set for Barbarian this season is Waste, so your set bonuses are gonna be the 2-piece increase the damage per second of Rend by 500% and its duration to 15 seconds. So it's kind of a big overtime damage. And then for the 4-piece, during Whirlwind and for 3 seconds after, you gain 50% damage reduction, and your Rend is applied, and your applied Rends deal triple damage. So you want to make sure you're whirlwinding semi-consistently so you can keep that bonus up. And the build kind of revolves around Whirlwind and Rend. So that's why kind of my primary damage dealers here are revolving around Rend and Whirlwind. So I went with Rend Mutilate because it kind of helped me do more damage. What it does is it's going to chill the enemies, and then they take 10% increased damage from all sources, which is a really good damage buff and helps you clear the rift. So then I paired that. I went Cold, and paired this with the Whirlwind Hurricane. It's going to help pull enemies towards you while whirlwinding, and while whirlwinding you move at 100% movement speed, which is nice. So you can kind of build around the cold element, and so you can put cold on like your amulet, your bracers, stuff like that. For the passives, I like to make my builds hardcore friendly. I do play hardcore, so I went with Nerves of Steel just to help me if I hit a Molten or something, that I can not lose my character. If you don't play hardcore, feel free to swap this out for something, because this build does seem to have decent toughness. So I don't expect dying to be a huge issue if you play like I do in the guide. So feel free to swap that out if you're playing softcore. Went with Unforgiving. What it does is you no longer degenerate Fury. Instead, you generate 2 Fury per second. My main problem with this build was the Fury, so I went with that to help out. Animosity, again, helping out with the Fury. It's going to increase your maximum and increase all Fury generation by 10%. I tried a few different things. I tried using a 2-handed weapon, and then I tried using a 1-handed weapon with a shield, and I found that was much better with this build, so I went ahead and went with the Sword and Board passive. It's a massive toughness increase, 30%, and it also helps with my Fury cost problem, because it's going to reduce my Fury cost by 20%, so it's kind of a double whammy there, and really kind of helped me do well in this build, in my opinion. Then if we go into the gear, obviously, at this point in time, you should be doing your GR20 as the last step to getting your 6-piece set. So don't attempt that solo GR20 until you have the 4-piece. So I've got the 4-piece waist set, And then I went with a mighty weapon, one-hander, and then a shield so I can get that sword and board passive. And then, you know, everything else is pretty standard. Cold bracers, just a bunch of rares. Your gear will probably be better than this when you're going to attempt your GR20. I threw an amethyst in the helm just to help me with toughness. Damage didn't seem to be a super issue with this build, so I put diamonds in my armor and pants just to help me survive. So yeah, that kind of covers everything as far as the build and the gear required to do this properly. So now I'm going to get into the part of the video where I actually show myself clearing a GR20 and handicapping myself while doing so. Alrighty, let's get this GR20. I couldn't unequip things in the cube, so I just put things that are pointless. I don't even use Hammer of the Ancients, so this does nothing. And there's no gold and Greater Rifts, so both of these are pointless. So nothing in the cube, and just rares and the 4-piece waist set. No follower, no legendary gems in my gear. All low-level gems that are actually in my sockets. So let's just see if we can do it here. The Barb GR20 does seem a little bit tougher. We're going to cast our abilities, our war cries when we get in. So this one could take me close to the whole time. We want to gather up some enemies. And then get Fury back. See if we can't gather up. Okay, nice. We got a pack. Went decently well. Try to cleave a bunch of enemies to get our Fury back. And then just start whirlwinding and rending. It's not going too bad. And then we want to try and gather up enemies, just get our Fury back. Gather up a bunch of enemies. Ground stomp to stun them and get our Fury back. You kind of want to wait until you lose some Fury to use your ground stomp. I don't know which direction to go. Probably north, yeah. And then if it's at least like this many mobs, it's worth killing. If it's at least like, you know, 6 or 7 mobs, it's probably worth it. Let's gather. Here's a nice little clump to gather up. Get our Fury back. Let's get everything around the pack. And then start rending. Get some Fury back. Oh, I got frozen. That's kind of a noob mistake there. I didn't even see it. My focus isn't quite as good if I'm talking while I play. I'm not going to use pylons. I'm trying to kind of handicap myself. And there's a pack up there. So let's kind of lure all the mobs around it. And then start rending. Get our Fury back. Ground stomp. And then you just kind of want to whirlwind while you rend. Find some mobs here. Just get our Fury back. Use them to generate. And then this is worth killing here. Here's a nice little clump of mobs. I was hoping to get a pack near it. Just helps us keep that progress bar filling up. We haven't seen a pack for a while, which is kind of bad luck. And let's get out of this level. It's not a very good level for us. I hate this level. I seem to always get this level in these videos. Seem to just always get this level. Get out of there. And you see how he just popped. That's because he's taking damage over time. So he just kind of died. I'm going to cast the ground stomp just to show you that you actually do have to hit mobs to get any fury back on your ground stomp. And then see, watch those mobs, ground stomp, and I get fury back. There's a pack. Alright, come on, mobs. Gather around the pack. Gather around. Let's get out of there a little bit, and then let him die to the damage over time. I'm gonna kill this minion just so he doesn't follow me around and keep dropping pools. So yeah, see, there's no mobs. Ground stomp, I didn't get anything. But yeah, not a whole lot to talk about. It's just kind of whirlwind and rend your way to victory. Use your stuff on cooldown to keep getting fury back. And then use your generator when you need to. Kind of use these mobs to generate. I don't really want to spend all my resource until I find a bunch of stuff to kill. This could be the wrong way to go in this direction. This might just be a big loop, yeah. So that was kind of the wrong way to go there. That's why I hate this level. This is going to be the right way here. Come on, give me a pack. There's always a pack in this room. There we go. You want to kind of stay around that pack. There we go. Getting pretty close to the RG. It's not going too bad. It's going to be up to the northeast. I don't want my Marauder Rage to run out. Let's gather up all these folks here. It's important to gather up a bunch of mobs so you don't waste your resource killing like one or two things. You want to get maximum progression out of your Wrath. Because Wrath is your limiting factor in this. I noticed that with a lot of the lower end builds. Like the beginning of the season builds where the main problem and main hindrance is resource. Should get the RG definitely on the next elite pack, if I can find one. Looks like not. Might just have to do it the old-fashioned way here without an elite pack. There's an elite pack. The RG. Let's get our Fury. And start whirlwinding and rending. It's not too bad. This definitely isn't a very good single target build. My phone's going off. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I usually remember to silence my phone and stuff when I make a video, but this time I forgot. And he should go down here with that damage over time. There he goes. There's still a mob here after the RG. Alright, yeah, so that's the GR20 with Barbarian. Alrighty, that was my video on how to clear that GR20 with Barbarian in Season 15 with the waist set so that you can be on your way getting that full 6-piece set. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments. I'm usually pretty responsive about doing my best to help you out. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.